Zoom, which, by the way, Daniel, you and I are going to be attending Zoomtopia next week, puts another $30 million behind Neat. And if you've never heard of Neat, they have a line of pretty interesting UC equipment. Just when you thought the industry didn't need another equipment maker, there is Neat.
Yeah, this is a pretty neat one, Pat. 41 million now that Zoom has put behind Neat. Neat makes a series of collaboration hardware. Most notably, it's boards. It's like, you've heard about maybe Microsoft Team boards, and WebEx has its Spark boards. It's not called Spark board anymore, but they changed the names. But the point is that there's always been these room-based, fully collaborative innovation ecosystem products that people can go into a little huddle room. And by the way, you said, I would love to have whiteboarded that. Well, this is what this product is all about. Well, Zoom obviously has been hardware light, meaning as a company done extraordinarily well, growing up to $1 billion a quarter on an almost pure, edge-to-edge, desktop-based video collaboration solution. But hardware has increasingly been part of its ecosystem. You've maybe heard something called Zoom Rooms, and that's the ability to use hardware-based. It's been built on, like Mini Mac and different hardware cameras that go into rooms, integrate with the Zoom system, and enable these room experiences to be integrated to these individual desktop or PC or smartphone-based video collaboration experiences. So here, with this particular investment, what it looks like to me is, Zoom has its venture business. It's cash. It's flush with cash. And the company is coming into a situation now where it is having to figure out how it's going to differentiate, whether that was the significant multi-billion-dollar investment in Five9 to move it into contact center in the cloud, whether it's been the events platform. Well, getting more into hardware is going to be important. Again, just like we mentioned with the Cisco and Google collaboration, Zoom needs room-based technologies that are going to win, because when people go back to the office, and I don't care how many CNN or CNBC segments you hear that say people do not want to go back to work, people want to go back into physical spaces with other people as soon as they are ready and they believe it is safe and it's healthy. And we are more successful at engaging and collaborating when we have this blended environment. There are just times when we need to be able to get in a room and stencil something out. People can't be multitasking and looking at their screens. And I think that's really what this is all about, is Zoom has found a company that builds really good product. By the way, a lot of the Neat people have historic backgrounds from companies like Tandberg. This is another Oslo-based Norway. The Norwegians seem to really get this collaboration thing. Not sure, been doing it forever. And so, when I think about it, Pat, in the Zoom world, a company's doing $1 billion a quarter. 30 million isn't a huge number, but it's a meaningful investment in a company to continue to develop products that are going to work and integrate very well with Zoom. And I think it's again, the underlying story is more about what work is going to look like. Zoom, WebEx, both of these stories are indicators to me that they see a hybrid future, people in offices and needing better equipment in rooms to connect those experiences to those that are not in the offices.
Wow, Daniel. The only thing I have to add to this is I'm thinking strategically why Zoom is doing this, right? And there's this notion of having rabbits who can implement features on the service side as quickly as possible, right? And we've seen this. We've seen this in Windows PCs. We've seen this in servers, but I don't think Zoom has that problem now. I mean, they have partners like Poly who are pretty much adding all the advanced features exactly when Zoom is able to provide it. So the other part of this, I think, is it's a hedge against risk that says if, let's say, some of these vertical ecosystems get too powerful, like Cisco WebEx, which, by the way, we just talked about that, them opening up with Google Meet interoperability, that they would be able to go in there and either fully acquire the company or at least be able to take advantage of its upside and, in a way, control the company by having an ownership, a 51% ownership stake. So I almost think it's a hedge against, it's sending a message to companies like Poly that, okay, if you're not going to integrate our latest features when we need you to, Neat will, and then sending kind of a hedge against Cisco with a complete vertical stack.